Walmart ruined my Monday. So I had ordered the kids a trampoline, and this past Monday I was going to Walmart to pick it up. And my plan was to pick it up early, get home as quickly as possible, put it together so they could enjoy jumping on it before they had to go back to school on Tuesday. So I picked it up around noon, got back home about 30 minutes later. And if anybody's ever put a trampoline together, you know how many parts are in those boxes. So I was already thinking, with me putting it together by myself, that it was probably going to take a couple of hours to do this. Got home, got everything unpacked, pulled the instructions out, and I start lining up the pieces to make sure that I have everything. Well, that's when I realized that I was missing 2 rods out of the set, and I counted them like 3 times just to make sure, and there was these specific ones that I was missing with the arch. And I've already taken everything out of the box, but I had an idea. I was like, let me call Walmart and see what they can do. So I get on the phone with Walmart. I'm on hold forever for a manager, and probably like 20 minutes at this point, and then finally they get a manager to the phone. Introduced herself. I told her exactly what was going on, and she suggested that I bring the pamphlet back up there with the parts circled that I need, and she would actually open up another one and let me get those parts out of one of the other ones. Bam, that's cool. Do I need to ask for you when I get there? And she's like, yeah, how long are you going to be? I told her I live 20 minutes away. I'll be right there. She said, yes, I'll be here. Just come to customer service and ask for me. I rushed. I get the kids in the car, and we rush back up to Walmart. I get to Walmart, and it's about 2 o'clock, and I leave the kids in the car, but I left the air conditioner on because my daughter's older, and she was sitting in the car with my son with the air on. I go up to customer service, and I let the lady know what's going on. I did ask for that manager that I'd spoke to. She paged the manager over the speakers to come to service desk, please, and then I waited. And the girl that was up there, she stayed busy, and I sat on the bench waiting on the manager. Now it's about 2:18, and I'm still waiting on the bench, so I've been waiting around 18 minutes for this manager to come up front. So I get back in the customer service line, and I was like, hey, is the manager still here? You paged her like 20 minutes ago. I really need to speak to her. So the lady pages her again. And I'm guessing another manager called the front and talked to the young lady, and the girl explained what was going on and what I was there for, because apparently the manager that spoke to me left right after I spoke with her and didn't communicate to anybody what was going on. So the young girl gets off the phone. She said, hey, I told the manager what you were here for, what's going on, and who you spoke to. And he said, just go to Sporting Goods where the trampolines are, and someone will be right over to help you. Cool. At this point, it's 2:30. I'm headed over to the trampoline. I get over to Sporting Goods. I find the actual trampoline on the shelf, and it's on the top shelf. And I'm sitting around, and I'm just waiting. And at this point, it's now 3 o'clock. So I've been in Walmart an hour now. So I go over to the area in Sporting Goods that has like the guns and the cash register, and no one's over there. Waiting around there for about 5 minutes, don't see anybody come by, don't see any Walmart workers walk by. So I go all the way back to customer service. I waited in line. There was like 3 other people there. I waited my turn, and then when I got up there, I explained to the lady, hey, I've been back there waiting and for about 20 minutes now plus, and no one's come back there. She apologized, and she was like, okay, I'll page someone. So she got on the speaker and was like, assistance in Sporting Goods, please. Customer needs assistance in Sporting Goods. So I make my way back over to Sporting Goods. I'm waiting, and at this point, it's about 15 minutes after 3. My daughter's texting me from the car, Dad, are you okay? Like, how much longer is this going to be? It's not going to be daylight very much longer. I'm texting her back, hey, I'm waiting on someone. Just give me a few more minutes, and hopefully we'll be out of here. I give it about 10 more minutes, and I decide to call Walmart on my cell phone. I get customer service, and I ask to speak to someone in Sporting Goods. So as I'm sitting there on my cell phone, beside the area where the register is in Sporting Goods, I hear the phone ring in Sporting Goods, and over the loudspeaker, customer needs assistance in Sporting Goods, line 1, please. Sat there on the phone and watching their phone blink and waiting, and I waited on hold for 12 minutes. No one's coming over there, so finally I start veering off, and I go looking down the toy aisles, which is right near Sporting Goods. And I see a worker finally, and I tell them what's going on, and they're like, yeah, let me see if I can get somebody over there. And I really just asked, it's like, well, here's what's going on. Can you not help me? And they're like, well, that's not my department. And if you spoke to someone already, like, I'm not able to help you. She walks over to Sporting Goods and uses the phone and pages for assistance in Sporting Goods. She waits a couple of minutes and then she's like, hey, I need to get back to stock in my area, but someone should be here. I'm trying not to lose my cool because at this point it's almost 4 o'clock. I've been in Walmart 2 hours. Finally, someone comes to Sporting Goods to help me. God bless her, it was a really old lady. And she asked me what I need help with, and as I'm walking her over to the trampoline, I'm explaining to her why I'm there, who I talked to. I'm showing her the instructions with the 2 that I needed circled. And then she's like, oh, honey, I can't help you. If somebody's going to open product and give you something out of it, that has to be a manager, not me. I'm like, can you please, talk to a manager? Because I already talked to one on the phone, and then somebody talked to one in customer service, and they know. And she's like, well, honey, I'm not saying I don't believe you, but I have to verify. Tries calling, I guess, the manager office from the Sporting Goods to get someone, doesn't get anybody. And she hangs up the phone, and she's like, honey, stay right here. I'm going to go to the manager office, and I'm going to find out if we can do this. God bless her. I know she was only trying to help. But at this point, it's 20 after 4. Finally, after about 10 minutes, she comes back. And she's like, I talked to one of the managers. They're not sure about the situation. Which manager did you speak to? So I had to tell her the manager's name and the whole process up until this point. And she actually got on the phone, called the manager's office. They actually answered. And she told them. And they were like, we'll call you right back. We're going to call to verify. Guys, I regret even trying to buy a trampoline at this point. I'm ready to just tell my kids, hey, you can jump on the bed. That's fine. I'm waiting around making small talk with this lady. It's about 4:40 at this point, and then the phone rings, and the manager speaks to her and says, okay, that's fine. Go ahead and open the box and let him get out what he needs. So I take her over to the trampoline, and I point it out, and it's on the top shelf. I'm like, there it is right there, and I start reaching for it. And she tells me, no, sir. I can't let you grab something off the top shelf. I'm going to have to call someone over here to help me get this down for you. Guys, I wish I was making all of this up. As soon as she walks away to make that phone call, I reach up and I grab the trampoline down real quick and throw it on the ground. I guess she made the call and then she came back and she's like, oh, someone already helped you get it down? And I told her, yeah, someone walked by and I think they were stocking. I asked them, could they help me? And they went ahead and did it. And we go to open the box and it has like the zip ties around it. And she's reaching in her pocket and she's like, honey, I'm so sorry. I left my box cutter in the back. I'm going to have to go get it. Yes, I was going to have to wait longer. By the time she goes to the back and comes back, it's 10 minutes after 5. So we finally get the box open. I show her what I need. We dig through this whole box. It takes us a few minutes to dig through because there's so many poles in there. I find the 2 that I need and I can finally get on my way. By the time I get home, it's almost 6. And you know, the time's changing now, so it's starting to get dark. And I hadn't even started putting this trampoline together. And by the time I did get the trampoline together, it's pitch black outside. The kids didn't even get to jump on the trampoline before they had to go back to school on Tuesday. Walmart, y'all need to do better.